I am really excited to finally be able to talk to you guys about the brand new OPPO Find X8 and the OPPO Find X8 Pro. Both of these devices are powered by the Dimensity 9400 from MediaTek, and both of them are going to be global edition devices, bringing OPPO back to the global market with the Find X series in a very big way, providing us very unique experiences and improvements that we've seen from them from the Find X series over the years, and of course culminating in a Pro and a Standard edition. We don't have an Ultra yet, although again the future has its own surprises to bring for us. But at the end of the day, these two devices are packed with features, packed with new technologies, as well as new functional options that we haven't seen from OPPO on devices like that before. This is TK, and this is my review of the OPPO Find X8 and the Find X8 Pro after using them for 2 weeks. Let's check them out. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you're always notified whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So here we have in front of us both the retail packaging, and first and foremost you'll notice is that the packaging itself is actually wider, which means the actual units themselves include a charger in the box. Both of these units that I have are the UK style. As you'll notice, the charger in the box, it's an 80-watt charger with SuperVOOC configured to allow us to charge the larger capacity batteries that we've typically seen in the past. The batteries that we have in here are a larger capacity batteries than we've seen in the past. We have a 5900 milliampere, roughly 5900 milliampere, and a 5600 milliampere battery on the Find X8. USB-A configuration here with the USB-A to C cable that is included in the box for both of them. They both include a transparent case, providing us the ability of protecting our devices, but we're also going to talk a little bit about some of those custom cases that OPPO did also send me, which are very, very nice. And one of the nice things about them is they actually support that MagSafe configuration, which is referred to as OPPO MagSafe. Now, this is one of those things that definitely is very nice because we have wireless charging on both of them at 50 watts configurable each. Using the actual adapter in there with the charger that we have in here, we're actually able to go to wireless charging up to 50 watts. So SuperVOOC wireless with 50 watt and reverse wireless charging at 10 watts from each one of these devices. So it's a consistent experience across. Both the Find X8 and the Find X8 Pro have multiple colors, although the white one and the black one that we have here, this is the pearl white, directly is only available on the X8 Pro. The X8 has a few additional colors, although now it looks kind of a little bit more of a pink tone. We're going to talk about that in a second. And one of the things that I like about this is that OPPO mentioned it to me, and at least I tried verifying this at the little meetup that we had, is that essentially every single one of these, the white color, the pearl white ones, are unique. The design on the back is unique to each device, and no two will look alike because they're definitely dynamic in the sense that they were molded, making them very nice and very unique. Now on the back here, we have a quad 50 megapixel camera stack in the back, of course, powered by the main sensor here, the LYT-808. And of course, we have OIS configurations on that. And of course, we have a telephoto lens and 2 different telephotos and the ultra wide, all stacking up to 50 megapixels. One thing we'll probably notice out of the box is that this is no longer, or at least the bump on the camera of the device is no longer as large as we used to see it in the back. And that's primarily because this is a Pro and this is an Ultra. This is not a successor to the Ultra from last year. So this is the Find X7 Ultra from 2023, essentially what carried us most of 2024. This is for 2024 onwards to 2025, and the LYT-808 is not a 1-inch sensor. Although it's still a very powerful sensor, it is a different experience, providing us a slightly thinner module, or basically the backing of the device is much thinner, and it also carries over on the Find X8 as well. You'll notice both of them are very nice, very thin. Of course, we still have a very nice area to be able to hold them. On the left side, we have the configuration of the slider option here that's also present here on the Find X8, and on the top, we have access to the IR blaster as well as the top microphone. Again, very nice configurations. On the right side, pretty much similar all the way till the bottom. So we have a volume rocker on the top with the power button on the right side. But the Find X8 Pro does have the additional function here to be able to launch the camera. So essentially here, I can double press the button, it launches the camera, and I'm also able to configure the slider here to give us the ability of configuring, or basically turning on zoom level, changing the lenses that we want, and of course, basically to be able to snap images. So basically snapping an image, or even going with repetitive, basically continuous shooting mode. It's a very nice configuration that is done on the side of the device. And it's not easily activated, so you can't just actively, by pushing it once, you'll turn it on, but you basically have to double press it to turn on the camera. Where it differs a little bit also on the camera stack that we have here on the Find X8 is that we have a triple 50 megapixel camera here on the Find X8. So it's a 50 megapixel main sensor, the LYT-700, and of course we have an ultra wide that's a 50 megapixel and a telephoto lens, single telephoto lens That's the LYT600 that's going to give us the experience there. Where on the Find X8 Pro, we have a secondary telephoto lens. So we have a telephoto lens that gives us the ability of going to that 3x. And then of course, we are also able to jump into the 6x. And then of course, both of them are supporting a 32 megapixel camera on the front. Let's go ahead and turn on the display. And that's going to be a 32 megapixel camera that provides us the ability of shooting 4K also on the main sensors from the front to the back. Both of them are running ColorOS 15, the latest edition of ColorOS from OPPO, based on top of Android 15. The Find X8, the Find X8 Pro, on the left side is the Pro, the right side is the 8. Both of the units that I have 512 gigs of internal storage. Both of them powered by the Dimensity 9400 processor, a 5910 milliampere battery here on the Find X8 Pro, and a 5630 milliampere on the Find X8. Not the big difference between the two if you think about it. Now both have 16 gigs of RAM built into them, and of course augmented by the internal storage. Again, we talked about the cameras, 32 on the front, a triple 50 on the right here on the X8, and a quad 50 megapixel camera stack on the Find X8 Pro. Both supporting CPU vitalization, and of course the display we have here is 6.59 inch Pro XDR display to 6.78 inch display. Here's a Pro XDR display as well, and supports adaptive eye care on both of them. The model numbers that we're looking at here is the CPH2651 on the Pro, on the regular one, and the CPH2659 on the Pro. Again, a lot of good configurations, a lot of nice options. I am running a custom launcher. That's one thing I wanted to demo for you guys. This is the stock, basically, ColorOS launcher, but I'm using Nova Prime. This is something that I like using on many of my devices, and this is actually supported on Find devices, Find X devices at least. And of course, if you do decide to pick up the global edition, we'll obviously have Google Play services pre-installed, but also now we also have the ability of supporting third-party launchers. On this one, the Google feed is on the left. I can double tap, taking directly into the Google feed. The display runs beautifully, very, very fast. Yeah, you do notice that there is a little bit of a delay when I go back, but that's mostly because it's trying to redraw the home screen. Other than that, it's pretty much straightforward. Swiping down from the right side, we have access to the new toggles. You can customize them. Swiping one more to the left gives you access directly to go into basically the notifications themselves. If we swipe down on the right, go into the settings section, a lot of customizations, logging into your OPPO account. You can customize your wallpapers, your different experiences, always on display. And this is one of the things I like about the one I did it here. You notice overall, there is the inhale, exhale configuration that we have in here. But once I turn it on, it actually goes behind Goku's head. So we can close it and bring it back, and you notice that Goku's head goes between those letters. The fingerprint sensor here is not an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. This is just basically optical fingerprint sensor. I wish this was an ultrasonic, but the experience is very nice and very fast. You can definitely see locking, unlocking, pretty fast, and it has customization as far as the lights, all of that stuff. And of course, we have all of the AI functionalities that we've seen, or that we've come to see directly from ColorOS. And during that trip, I had the opportunity to meet one of my friends from XDA during my time with them. And I had the opportunity to basically take this quick selfie, and you'll notice there's some options that we have in here. One of the things I'll say overall is the new AI editor is built in directly into the gallery. You can go in there, you can customize it by going to Enhanced Clarity, AI Eraser, Unblur, and then of course, Remove Reflections. In this situation, I feel like obviously this would be more in lieu of basically AI Eraser. You want to basically remove people. So I'm going to give the system itself a little bit of a leeway to tell what it needs to remove. It recognizes there's a few people in the background. I do apologize to Joe. So I'm going to go ahead and say remove all. And we're going to see exactly how good the system has been doing. Basically how well the system is done. So I'll give it a second. I'll let it finish up everything. And you look at it and then you could see right there. It is crazy how good it is. And this obviously makes it a much better picture that we're able to use. But what I liked about this, it's not because I didn't actually appreciate these options in here, but it also has nice suggestions. So let's go ahead and get out of it. You'll notice right there, it actually had the ability of saying remove people, because it noticed that this is an image of two people in the foreground and the background had a lot more distractions around it. So a lot of things that are built in there. And of course, we have the ability of accessing some AI functionalities built into the right. Meaning if I'm actually responding to some people, like in this situation, I have a text message from Stadium Parking here that's coming back. I can go in here and use AI reply. The AI reply functionality has the ability of rewriting or providing me a good way of responding back to a text. So it saw the text message that came in before, and basically what it's doing is just giving me some suggestions on how to write it. It can change the format, it can change basically the tone, the experience, be sincere, default, all of that. All of these things are built in directly in here and very, very nice. So again, some functional options built in directly into basically to the background. That's the best way to describe it. And that's the best way to actually experience this entire system. When it comes down to the cameras, we're going to look at obviously what we're able to do. Photography is going to look absolutely fantastic. Video, we're able to go all the way to 4K 60 frames per second on both the front and the sensors on the back. All four sensors on the back, the 50 megapixel sensors on the back, as well as the 32 megapixel sensor on the front, do have the ability of supporting 4K 60 frames per second. We don't have 8K, but I'm actually okay with that. OPPO typically does not show 8K functionalities, although we've seen it on some other devices in the past. Now, the experience here on the Find X8 is actually mirrored to be the exact same situation. You go in here under video, 4K 60 frames per second, supported on all the lenses, and front-facing camera is also in the same situation, 4K 60 frames per second, and you're not going to be disappointed entirely because it's a system that allows you to not only shoot content in the way you want it, but it's irrelevant in which lens you want to use. Most devices on the market, on the standard model, you can't shoot 4K 60. Here, you're getting the standard and the Pro to give you that best experience. And as you're seeing with some of those videos that I'm sharing with you guys, I was trying to do as much comparison between these two devices, and they both perform very, very nicely. Again, giving the X8 Pro a little bit more of a leg up on the sensor that we have here for the main camera, but also on the telephoto experience, since it's actually able to reach further with a clearer image because of that secondary telephoto lens. Now, when it comes down to connectivity and performance, I've been using it in the LA area on T-Mobile, and these are some of the examples that you can see roughly when I did a couple of speed tests on there. It's not 100% compatible with the T-Mobile network, as it was told to me by a text message, since T-Mobile scanned the device the moment I put in my SIM card into it, and it told me that it wasn't 100% compatible, but it does actually work and it does support it. So it's definitely nice to see that I'm able to get voice over LTE, Wi-Fi, as well as the ability of getting 5G in the LA area. Now, as far as the benchmarks, I'm sure a lot of us are interested. Since this device does provide us with a performance mode, typical mode, which essentially is the balance mode, you're going to be getting 2156 and 7209 for the multi-core. When we jump over to the obviously performance mode, you're able to jump up to 2886 and 8691, comparable to what we see from some of the other devices with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, as those are getting closer to 3000. But we have to keep in mind that both of these devices are running at a very high performance level, so we are not going to be disappointed. Last but not least, of course, in case you are interested, the N22 score here running the latest version I was able to download is 2,617,000. Again, a little bit shy of the almost the 2.8 to 2.9 million that we've seen before, and one of the best experience you're able to get on the market right now. Now, before we go into the gaming experience, let's go ahead and do a quick audio sample here. We're going to go 100% volume here on the X8 Pro, as well as the Find X8, and we're going to go play a little bit of sample on both. NCS Release, Jumbo by NCS Release here, a non-copyrighted song.
Jack it up.
Definitely sounds very nice. Let's go ahead and do the Find X8.
Jack it up.
Both of them sound very nice. Both of them give us a loud, bassy experience. They definitely don't sound tinny at the higher end. But again, you're able to customize them. And if you're using them with a really nice pair of buds, especially the buds from OnePlus or even from OPPO, you're not going to be disappointed. Now, gaming on this is not going to be disappointing at all. We have enough storage, RAM, and of course, speed in the processing power that we have in here to get the best experiences. What I did want to show you guys real quick before we get into just the graphical demo of everything, we do support 120 frames per second in medium setting on Call of Duty Mobile, which is absolutely fantastic. And when it comes down to PUBG Mobile, we're actually able to support ultra extreme in smooth configuration as far as the settings in here. And what I like about that is the fact that they not only support some of the latest devices, but also this device at launch supports the best settings that we can get out of both of these games. And when it comes down to gaming, it's not going to be disappointing because of what we're seeing here. Last year provided us a unique experience into providing us just basically powerful cores at all times. They got rid of them, basically the efficiency cores. What we see here now in 2024 is an optimization to what we got last year, an even better performance boost, and still providing us the ability of keeping the thermals under check. I think this is the biggest experience that we're going to notice here. And again, supporting this device at launch by the, major publications, again, Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile, Genshin Impact, and some of the other games on the market, provides us an experience that is second to none. When it comes down to photography here, this is where I want to kind of look at this in the sense of what these devices are offering us. First and foremost, I do want to say that a lot of us are going to be bummed out because we're going to think it doesn't have a 1-inch sensor. Why did we lose the 1-inch sensor from last year to this year? The Find X8 Pro and the Find X8 are not the successors of the Find X8 Ultra from last year. This was made very clear to me by the team over at OPPO when I was asking how come we have a different sensor approach this year. These devices are more so the successors to what we used to get in the last few years from the Pro series. Although the Find X6 Pro did have a 1-inch sensor, that one was not a global edition. But previous to that, when we did used to have Pros, they didn't have basically those sensor experiences. Now, there still is a possibility that an Ultra could be available later this year. But from what you're seeing here with the images that I'm sharing with you guys, again, I took both of these devices with me to India and traveled with them internationally. One thing to mention also is they not only support dual SIM, but they also provide us ability of supporting eSIM when you're traveling. So it makes it easy to communicate and of course download some eSIMs directly to your device. But the experiences that we're getting in here is absolutely fantastic. The color science that we're getting here on the main sensor, the telephoto sensor, is also mirrored over to video when you're experiencing, just be able to capture the moment where you're in. That button that we have on the side, which is only available on the Pro, provides us the ability of launching the camera very easily by double pressing it, and of course jumping into the camera lens that you want. Now I will say sliding on this is a little bit different than just jumping to a specific focal length that you're looking for. Cameras have been fantastic. The experience with these have obviously been great. I've been listening to audio with them on the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, and of course we do support LHDC in here, and it provides us a high quality audio. The large storage that we have here on both of these devices work great. I do want to say a little bit, again, thank you very much to OPPO for checking out or sending me over the AirVook. This is something that was basically part of the announcement. You're pretty sure you guys are going to see it. Essentially is the ability of supporting native accessories by OPPO to provide us the ability of using kind of like a MagSafe approach, but the ability of having wireless 50-watt charging as a small puck that actually keeps itself cool because of the fans that are built in here. It provides itself a cooling mechanism so that the temperatures on the wireless charging never exceed the temperatures that you want them to be. They're safe enough to be able to use. Now you do need to have the custom-made case or a case specifically made with the basically the coils inside. These are not part of the device. But what I like about them is also kind of very nice to be able to use it as a stand on the table while you're charging it. So you can watch content with it and charge it and have that the fans work as a stand in the back, providing you a best experience in there, of course. So with that being said, my hope is that you are as excited as I am about the brand new, of course, the Find X8, the Find X8 Pro. And I love the fact that we have some first-party accessories here, and I'm finally able to actually share those with you guys as well. And you've enjoyed looking at all those images, all those videos that I'm sharing with you guys. I've actually moved into the Find X8 Pro as this is my main device now, using it here in the US. So this is definitely one of my favorite devices so far, and I cannot wait to see what OPPO does, again, for the rest of this year. I hope that there is an Ultra. We have no confirmation of that at this point, but at this point, from my personal experience, the Find X8 Pro is the one to go for, and the Find X8 is absolutely fantastic. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next video.